Shalom, this is Doug with Douglas V Amateur Radio and more. An update on the Texas shack. Changed the desk from, to parallel with that wall to make the coax runs as short as possible. Can run it in there from there when it gets run permanently. Just run it up here. And I'm going to add a lot of other stuff, power pole distribution and all that later on, but get all projects done, including grounding. And I'm going to put somewhere in this area, I'm going to put a single point ground just to be able to send it out there. But that's definitely something in the future. Probably going to come out here in a few months to start working on that. I haven't used that in quite a while because I haven't needed to, but I'll probably start using it for POTA or SOTA activations out here, with either as a mast for HF or as originally intended for UHF, VHF activations. I've got one similar in Arizona that I've used on activations in Arizona. Have that set up like I have it many times before. I put it up there because I didn't want to put it up where I normally would want to put it up, because I was doing it by myself and I didn't feel like having to mess with that and climb up a ladder. So I wanted to get it up and on the air. And on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trench and put the ground rods, which there's going to be like 3 or 4 of them eventually bonded together. But I'm going to lay them horizontally in the ground. Then I'm going to ground the mast, somewhere in there. I'm going to try to take that out sometime. I'm going to run it here, run the coax and conduit back over there, and then run the ground rods about every 16 feet thereabouts. And then run it over this way. And I am going to ground the mast at every mast, and the antenna. I'm going to put a surge protector at the base of the antenna, probably one of the Alpha Delta ones, and then to ground it out, I'll use at least 6 gauge wire for the bare ground wire to attach to the ground rod. I used 8 gauge at home, and it seems to work, but probably 6 would be a little bit better. And then we bring it all into here, and then I'm thinking, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of those boxes, either have a have a basic enclosure like you'd see in a metal, like an empty electrical enclosure, and do all that, or get one of the pre-made boxes that are, come with a copper panel, or copper ground bus, or or use the DX Engineering one. It's like $100, but it comes with an aluminum panel instead of copper, which I don't know that makes much of a difference. But I've heard good reviews on the one made by Ham here in the United States. And then I'm gonna put the surge protectors in here and there, ground it nearby in this area. If you have suggestions for that, on how to mount it, without mounting it to the metal, to the building, please let me know. There's some cattle going to get fed because it's the dry part of the year and winter, so there's not as much grass. UHF VHF antenna. But I'm going to try to do thorough grounding out here. Mostly, you know, for static and RF noise and all that stuff, but it could help for other things as well. You see out here where I put the 20-meter antenna. Put that tree I've used many times before when I've had my 40-meter antenna out here. Had a few contacts out here. I haven't done too much. I haven't done a lot of radio out here today or this week because I've been spending time with family. I've been using ABR coax primarily. Starting to switch all to that. And I tied it off there, but I put it over that branch and over to here. I forget what knot that is, but it's a good knot to tie ropes together. And since I'm not holding up a lot of weight, it doesn't really matter. If you know the name of that knot, just 2 loops put together and tied off. I just used a arborist throw weight. I think it's a 14 ounce, maybe 16 ounce. You've seen Bill with Ham Radio Tectonics use that. Very pretty much same throw weight. And when you can hear the cattle being fed and them being called and them calling back, there used to, in this area somewhere, there used to be a cattle dipping hole made of concrete that they used to dip them and put them in to clean them and use a chemical to take ticks and other bugs off of them. I don't remember the name of the chemical or the company. I found a bunch of bottles in the area from before, but it was grown over years ago when I found it, and quite grown over now from what I can see. And quick overview of this, I put this here to kind of keep it away from the trees a little bit more, kind of in the middle. And no reason, I just forgot to take off that bungee before I put it up. Hasn't seemed to affect it, anything. But I got a contact on HF on 20 meters in Arizona, and I think it was Louisiana, somewhere east, a state east of here. I think it was Louisiana, Poto over there. And the contact in Arizona was one of my Elmers over there. It was quite hard to get him. I could hear him decently, but he had a lot more noise than I did. I could hear him well, but I'm going to check on my radio audio. Beautiful day, shalom, and Yahweh bless.